LeBron's rookie season. LeBron James entered the league carrying more pressure than any teenager should. Drafted straight out of high school by a Cleveland team that had just finished a painful 17-65 season, the expectations were already sky high. And then he signed that 7-year rookie contract worth around $90 million, which was the maximum at the time. No pressure, right? Cleveland's front office basically tossed the keys to the franchise into the hands of a 19-year-old and said, fix it. And he actually started to. The Cavs introduced new wine and gold uniforms with dark blue trim that season, trying to give themselves a fresh look to go along with their brand new star. Paul Silas was the head coach, and while the Cavs didn't storm into the playoffs, they got a lot closer than anyone thought they would. They ended up finishing 35-47, just one game short of the playoffs, and a massive 18-game improvement from the previous year. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. Cleveland also shuffled the roster a bit with 2 major 6-player trades, shipping out Ricky Davis, Chris Meem, Michael Stewart, and Darius Miles, bringing in guys like Eric Williams, Jeff McInnes, and Tony Battier. Basically, the team was remodeling around LeBron from day one. He didn't just get dropped into a team, he was the team, and he played like it. His first NBA game came on October 29th against Sacramento, and he dropped 25 points, 9 assists, 6 boards, and 4 steals while shooting 60%. That's not a debut, that's a mic drop. Sure, the Cavs opened the season with 5 straight losses, but that didn't last long. LeBron started to find his rhythm fast. Over the season, he played in 79 games, started every single one, and averaged nearly 40 minutes per game. That's insane for a rookie. He put up 20.9 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 5.9 assists per game. And yes, that made him the only rookie besides Oscar Robertson and Michael Jordan to ever average at least 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Not bad company. He was also named Rookie of the Year, no surprise there, becoming the youngest player in NBA history to win it at just 19 years and 26 days old. He made the All-Rookie First Team, crushed the monthly Rookie of the Month awards, and led all rookies in scoring. His advanced stats, not just impressive, borderline historic for a rookie. A player efficiency rating of 18.3, a usage rate of 28.2%, and a box plus minus of 5.1. That's MVP territory, and he actually finished 9th in MVP voting that year, 9th. As a rookie, he recorded 6 triple-doubles, setting a rookie record that was only later tied. And when Cleveland won, it was usually because LeBron took over. He averaged 24.1 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 6.8 assists in wins. So yeah, the Cavs didn't make the playoffs, but this was the beginning of something huge. 2005. LeBron came into his second year with real expectations. He'd already won Rookie of the Year, already flipped the Cavaliers into a respectable team, and now the pressure was on to push even further. Cleveland started the year with Paul Silas, still calling the shots. But after a strong start, things spiraled. A late stretch of 3 wins and 8 losses forced the front office to fire Silas midseason. They handed the clipboard to Johnny Davis, hoping to stabilize things, but that gamble didn't exactly work out. The Cavs ended with a 42-40 record, tied with New Jersey, but lost the tiebreaker. That meant no playoffs. Again, still, this wasn't a wasted year. Cleveland opened the season 30-20, their best start since the late 90s. The offense looked solid, putting up around 105 points per possession, but their defense couldn't hold up down the stretch. As the losses piled up, so did the pressure on LeBron to do everything. And honestly, he kinda did. He averaged 27.2 points, 7.4 rebounds, 7.2 assists, and 2.2 steals while playing over 42 minutes a night. Those numbers aren't just good. They put him in a club with Robertson, Havlicek, Bird, and Jordan. Yeah, that's small. He shot 47.2% from the field, 35.1% from 3, and 75% from the line. His advanced stats? Bonkers. A player efficiency rating of 25.67, ranked 6th in the league. His 14.3 win shares were good for 4th, and his value over replacement player was 9.1, second only to Kevin Garnett. His box plus minus came in at plus 8.6, and he actually led the entire league in offensive box plus minus at plus 7. So yeah, LeBron didn't just grow in year 2, he detonated. He became an all-star for the first time, starting in the game at just 20 years old, making him the second youngest starter ever behind Kobe. He dropped 13 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals in the East win. He made the All-NBA second team, becoming the youngest player to ever land on an All-NBA team up to that point. He also won Eastern Conference Player of the Month twice, in November and January. And then came the 56-point game against Toronto on March 20th. LeBron went absolutely nuclear. 22 for 33 shooting, 8 threes, 9 free throws, and added 7 rebounds and 5 assists. That was the highest scoring game in franchise history at the time. He had 5 games with at least 40 points that season and a few triple-doubles just to mix it up. He became the youngest player ever to reach 3,500 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 1,000 assists. He also became the first Cavs player to ever score over 2,000 points in a season. He wasn't just the engine of the team, he was the wheels, the frame, and the spark plug. Without him, nothing moved. Cleveland didn't make the playoffs, but make no mistake, LeBron leveled up. Year 2 proved he wasn't just a phenom, he was the franchise. 2006. This was the year LeBron finally dragged Cleveland out of the playoff graveyard and into actual relevance. With Mike Brown stepping in as a rookie head coach and the front office handing out contracts like candy, bringing in Larry Hughes, Donyell Marshall, and Damon Jones, the Cavaliers were clearly all in on a deep playoff push. They won 50 games, finished second in the Central Division, and grabbed the 4th seed in the East. Welcome back to the postseason, Cleveland. It had only been 7 years. LeBron didn't just play like a franchise guy, he played like he owned the whole league. He put up a career high, 31.4 points per game, along with 7 rebounds and 6.6 assists. He did it while playing 42.5 minutes a night, more than any player in the league who suited up for at least 60 games. It was like he had a side hustle playing basketball nonstop. His shooting splits were strong too, 48% from the field, 33.5% from deep, and 74% from the line. He shattered Cavaliers franchise records all over the place. Total points in a season, 2,478. Most made field goals, 875. Most attempts, 1,823. Most free throws made and attempted, 601 and 814. He also dropped at least 40 points in 10 different games, including explosions of 52, 51, 47, and a pair of 46-point nights. He even hit 24 free throws in a single game against Miami. That's not getting to the line. That's basically living there, and the advanced stats, off the charts. His player efficiency rating was 28.1, second in the league. Win shares, 16.3. His value over replacement player, 9.4. That was also second in the league. His box plus minus came in at 9.1, with a massive 7.5 on offense. He finished second in MVP voting, only behind Steve Nash, and became the youngest player to ever make the All-NBA first team. He also took home his first All-Star Game MVP, scoring 29 points and leading the East to a win. But this was the year it became clear he wasn't just an all-star, he was that guy. The playoffs didn't disappoint either. First round, he faced off with the Wizards and lit them up. Game 1, a triple-double, 32 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists. That made him the youngest player in NBA history to record a playoff triple-double. Then he went full drama mode, hitting game winners in both Game 3 and Game 5. He finished that series averaging over 30 points, nearly 6 rebounds, and 8 assists in more than 46 minutes per game. In the second round, Cleveland actually took a 3-2 lead on Detroit before the Pistons clawed back and won the series in 7. But Cleveland pushed a title contender to the edge, and LeBron made it clear. He was already elite, and he wasn't going anywhere. By the way, if you guys want to subscribe, I'm going to be posting every day. Thanks. Anyways, 2007. This was the year LeBron powered Cleveland to its first NBA Finals in franchise history, dragging the Cavaliers through the Eastern Conference like a human freight train. At just 22 years old, in his 4th season, he led a team coached by Mike Brown to a 50-32 record, finishing second in the Central Division and second in the East. They weren't flashy, they weren't fast. They played at a pace of around 90 possessions per game, which was middle of the pack, and their offense ranked 18th in the league. But their defense, locked in, 4th best in the NBA, with a 101.3 defensive rating. LeBron started and played in 78 games, logging 40.9 minutes per night, more than anyone else in the league. That's a shift and a half every night. He averaged 27.3 points, 6.7 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.6 steals, and just under a block per game. He shot 47.6% from the floor, 31.9% from deep, and just under 70% from the line. It wasn't his most efficient season, but the volume and versatility made up for it. Even with all of that, he finished 5th in MVP voting and landed on the All-NBA second team. The only time in his prime he didn't crack the first team. Still, he had standout performances sprinkled across the regular season, 41 points against Detroit in March, 38 against Boston in November, and nearly pulled off a triple-double against Utah with 24 points, 17 boards, and 9 dimes. That March game against Utah showed how much his all-around game had matured. The Cavs swept Washington in the first round, took down New Jersey in 6 games in the second round, and then faced the mighty Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then came the moment that changed everything. Game 5 in Detroit. LeBron scored 48 points, including 25 straight for Cleveland. That stretch, especially in double overtime, was legendary. It didn't just define the series, it defined LeBron's arrival as the guy. In the playoffs, he led everyone in total points, assists, and playoff win shares. That's not normal. He averaged over 44 minutes, 25.1 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 8 assists across 20 playoff games. He wasn't just playing hard, he was doing absolutely everything. Then came the finals. Cleveland ran into the buzzsaw that was the San Antonio Spurs. They had the top net rating in the league and a defense that smothered everything. Cleveland got swept. LeBron averaged nearly 22 points, but his efficiency dropped to around 40% from the field. San Antonio's defense clogged the paint, baited him into jumpers, and forced the rest of the roster to try and help, which they couldn't. The finals at 22 years and 4 months old. He led the league in minutes played. He led the playoffs in points, assists, and total win shares. He put Cleveland basketball on the map. For real this time? 2008. LeBron entered the season with the weight of expectations growing heavier. After leading Cleveland to the finals the year before, this was supposed to be another leap forward. Instead, it turned into a grind. The Cavaliers finished 45-37, good enough for 2nd in the Central Division and 7th in the East. That net rating? -0.4. Not exactly dominant. They ranked 24th in points per game and 25th in pace, which means slow offense, lower scores, and a whole lot of LeBron trying to carry the entire thing uphill. He played 75 games and started 74, averaging a monster 40.4 minutes per game. He scored 30 points per night on nearly 48.5% shooting from the field. From beyond the arc, he knocked down 31.5%, and from the line, 71%. He grabbed 7.9 boards, dished out 7.2 assists, and added nearly 2 steals and over a block per game. His turnovers came in at 3.4 per night, but considering the usage, it's no surprise. He led the team in every major category. Nobody else even came close. The second option wasn't exactly defined. You had guys like Big Z, Daniel Gibson, Ben Wallace, Wally Szczerbiak, and Delonte West floating in and out of rhythm, but none averaged over 15 points. It was the basketball equivalent of LeBron, dragging a refrigerator through a sandstorm while everyone else watched. Still, he earned his 4th straight All-Star selection and landed another All-NBA first-team honor. In the MVP race, he finished 4th, right behind Kobe Bryant. Once again, his numbers were elite, but the team's record didn't make enough noise. His total minutes topped 3,000 for the 3rd straight year. He played at least 35 minutes in over 70 games. Durability wasn't optional, it was mandatory. The season started slow. By late December, they sat at 12-16. It wasn't until February that they started finding their footing, improving to 32-24 by the end of the month. March brought a small surge, including a road win over the Knicks on March 5th, where LeBron did what he always does, completely dominated. That win brought their record to 35-26 and gave the team just enough momentum to secure a playoff spot. In the first round, they faced Washington. It wasn't the most elegant series, but Cleveland took it in 6 games. LeBron averaged 28.2 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 7.6 assists in the postseason while playing over 42 minutes per game. The second round, a rematch with the Boston Celtics, who were loaded. That series went the distance. 7 games of physical basketball and endless isolation. Cleveland came up short, but LeBron carried them the whole way. He didn't just lead the team, he was the team. With average pace, middle-tier defense, and a sputtering offense, they had no business pushing a team like Boston to the brink. But LeBron made it happen again by doing everything but building the arena himself. 2009. This was the season Cleveland finally built the kind of team that could back up LeBron's skill set. And he made sure nobody missed it. They finished with a franchise-best 66 wins, the most in the league. Mike Brown won Coach of the Year, their offense ranked 4th, and their defense 3rd best. They rattled off 23 straight wins at home, controlled the pace, and obliterated opponents with consistency that hadn't been seen in Cleveland since, well, ever. LeBron played 81 games, started everyone, and averaged 37.7 minutes a night. He shot 48.9% from the field, 34.4% from deep, and nearly 78% at the line. He averaged 28.4 points, 7.6 rebounds, and 7.2 assists, tossing 1.7 steals and 1.1 blocks. And you get the most complete version of LeBron up to that point And that's not just fluff, the numbers proved it. His advanced metrics were unhinged. A player efficiency rating of 31.7, a true shooting percentage just shy of 60%, a usage rate near 38%, win shares per 48 minutes, .318. He led the league in win shares with over 20 and finished with a box plus minus of plus 13.2. His value over replacement player hit 11.8. That's not just MVP material, that's video game create a player stuff. He won his first MVP award at 24 years old, becoming the youngest to do it since Moses Malone. He also made his first all-defensive first team and finished second in Defensive Player of the Year voting. He racked up 93 blocks, 23 of those being chased down. And for the fourth straight year, he pulled off the rare triple of averaging at least 27 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. Only Chamberlain and Robertson had ever done that before over 5 straight seasons. He had 3 separate 50-point games that season. He dropped 52 at New York and would have had a triple-double if a late rebound hadn't been removed from the box score. He matched his career high of 58 points in March. He also passed franchise records in steals, free throws, and defensive rebound. By the end of March, he'd become just the second player in NBA history to record 2,000 points, 500 boards, and 500 assists in 4 different seasons. The Cavaliers swept Detroit in the first round of the playoffs. LeBron averaged 38 points, 11.8 boards, and 8.5 assists. Then they swept Atlanta, with LeBron averaging over 31 points per game. In the Eastern Conference Finals, they ran into Orlando. He opened the series with 49 points in a 1-point overtime loss. In Game 2, he hit a buzzer-beating 3 to even the series. He averaged 35.3 points, 8.3 rebounds, and 8 assists across 14 playoff games. Cleveland didn't reach the finals, but this was LeBron's most dominant season yet. The team's success, his efficiency, and his statistical control over every possession made it official. He wasn't just elite anymore, he was the league. 2010, LeBron entered the season fully in his prime and absolutely refused to waste a second of it. The Cavaliers loaded up by adding Shaq, Anthony Parker, Jamario Moon, and Leon Powell in the offseason, then traded for Anton Jamison and Sebastian Telfair in February. And it worked. Cleveland ran through the regular season like a steamroller, finishing with 61 wins and locking down the top seed in the NBA. They posted a net rating of plus 7.1, 6th in offense, and 7th in defense. The team didn't play fast. They ranked 25th in pace, but they didn't need to. They controlled the game, wire to wire. LeBron played 76 games, all as a starter, and averaged 39 minutes a night. He put up 29.7 points per game on over 50% shooting from the field. From 3, 33.3% on nearly 8 attempts per game. That volume wasn't a fluke. He hit his free throws at 75% and averaged 7.3 rebounds, 8.6 assists, 1.6 steals, and 1 block per game. Turnovers were at 3.4, but considering how much he had the ball, that's more than acceptable. At just 25 years old, he became the youngest player in league history to hit 15,000 career points. He ended the season with over 2,200 points, 651 assists, and 125 steals, leading the team in all 3 categories. His impact was total. The advanced stats, off the charts. He finished with a player efficiency rating of 31.1, win shares of 18.5, and a box plus minus of plus 12.5. His offensive BPM alone was nearly 10. His value over replacement player, 10.9. That kind of impact hadn't been seen since peak Jordan territory. He led the league in all major value metrics, and it wasn't close. He won his 2nd straight MVP, pulling in 116 of 122 first-place votes. He also made the All-NBA first team and the All-Defensive first team for the 2nd time. He won Player of the Month 4 times and Player of the Week 6 times. The All-Star game? Yeah, he started that one too. In the playoffs, Cleveland handled the Bulls in 5 games. LeBron put up 40 in Game 2, then followed with a 37, 12, and 11 triple-double in Game 4. He led the team in every stat that mattered across the series. Then came the Celtics. The Cavs won 2 of the first 3 games, including a 38-point LeBron eruption in Game 3 that gave Boston its worst home playoff loss ever. But then the wheels came off. Boston took the next 3. In Game 5, Cleveland got blown out by 32 at home, and just like that, the Cavs were done. It was LeBron's last playoff run with Cleveland before heading to Miami. The regular season was dominant. The MVP was never in question. But the playoff exit, that stung. This was the apex of his first Cleveland run. Statistically brilliant, but titleless. 2011, LeBron joined the Miami Heat, instantly turning the team into a lightning rod for criticism. His decision was televised, overanalyzed, and publicly roasted. But behind the drama, Miami was assembling a machine. With D. Wade and Chris Bosh forming the Big Three alongside him, the Heat finished with 58 wins, secured the Southeast Division title, and held the best net rating in the NBA at plus 8.2. Their offensive rating ranked 3rd, defensive rating 5th, and they cruised through the regular season with a slow, deliberate pace, just under 91 possessions per game. LeBron played 79 games and started all of them, averaging 38.8 minutes per night. He scored 26.7 points per game on 51% shooting. He added 7.5 rebounds and 7 assists a game, while shooting 33% from deep and 75.9% from the line. He also averaged 1.6 steals and just over half a block per game. He turned the ball over 3.6 times per game. Unsurprising, considering how often he initiated plays. His advanced metrics were, again, elite. A player efficiency rating of 27.3, true shooting at nearly 60%, and a usage rate of 31.5%. He recorded 8.1 total win shares and finished the season with a box plus minus of 8.1 and a value over replacement player at 7.8. On the court, the Heat outscored teams by nearly 14 points per 100 possessions when he played, compared to just plus 1.6 when he sat. He earned another All-Star starting nod, was named to the All-NBA first team, and made the All-Defensive first team for the first time. He finished 3rd in MVP voting and 9th in Defensive Player of the Year voting. In February, he dropped his highest single-game performance of the season, scoring 35 points with double-digit assists and rebounds. Good for a game score of 93, tying Hakeem Olajuwon's spot on the all-time list. The Heat started 9-8, but quickly corrected course. On December 2nd, LeBron returned to Cleveland for the first time and torched the Cavs for 38 points, finally silencing some of the early season jeers. By spring, Miami was a force. In the playoffs, he played 21 games and averaged nearly 44 minutes per contest. Against the Sixers, they advanced in 5 games. Against the Celtics, LeBron closed out the series with 33 points in Game 5, hitting a key dagger and emotionally kneeling at midcourt, a moment he later described as personal redemption. In the conference finals, they beat Chicago in 5, with LeBron locking down Derrick Rose late in games. Then came the finals. Dallas beat Miami in 6 games. LeBron averaged just 17.8 points, down almost 9 from the regular season, and managed only 3 total fourth quarter points across the entire series. It remains the largest drop in finals scoring average in NBA history. His playoff line still held 23.7 points, 8.4 rebounds, and nearly 6 assists per game. But the ending? That part was brutal. 2012. After the sting of a finals loss, LeBron came into his second year in Miami like a machine with unfinished business. The Heat finished 46-20 in a lockout-shortened 66-game season. They went 28-5 at home, 18-15 on the road, locking down the second seed in the East behind the Bulls. Under Eric Spoelstra, the team started strong, opening 28-7, then cooled slightly, finishing 18-13 down the stretch. Still, they went on to win the franchise's second championship, the first with LeBron. He played 62 games, starting all of them, and averaged 37.5 minutes per game. His scoring came in at 27.1 points per game, alongside 7.9 rebounds and 6.2 assists. He also added 1.9 steals and just under 1 block per game. He shot over 50% from the field, nearly 34% from 3, and finished with a true shooting percentage of just over 60%. His usage rate was 32%, and he kept turnovers at a relatively low 13.3%. The advanced metrics were unreal. He had a player efficiency rating of 30.7, the highest in the league. His win shares came in at 14.5, 10 of those offensive, and his win shares per 48 minutes was .298. His box plus minus was 10.9, and his value over replacement player landed at 7.6. He led the Heat in every major category, and he created over a third of Miami's offense while on the floor with a 33.6% assist rate. He did it all without forcing it. His free throw rate sat at an aggressive .429. While his three-point attempt rate was a modest .127. He won his 3rd MVP award, the first with Miami, becoming the youngest player to reach both 18,000 and 19,000 career points that season. He also made his 8th straight All-Star appearance as a starter and was named to both the All-NBA first team and the All-Defensive first team. He played through back spasms and still missed just 4 games. The Heat played at a mid-tier pace of 91 possessions per game and posted a defensive rating of 100.2 when he was on the floor. They outscored teams by over 6 points per 100 possessions thanks to LeBron's all-around dominance. In the playoffs, he stepped it up even more. He played 23 games and averaged over 42 minutes. His playoff numbers: 30.3 points, 9.7 rebounds, 5.6 assists, and nearly 2 steals per game. In the first round, they beat the Knicks in 5. In the second round, they trailed Indiana 2-1 before LeBron dropped 40 points, 18 rebounds, and 9 assists in Game 4 to flip the series. The Eastern Finals against Boston went 7 games. Game 6, that was the one: 45 points, 15 boards, 5 assists. No smiles, no showboating, just domination. Then came the finals. They lost Game 1 to Oklahoma City, but bounced back with 4 straight wins. In Game 5, LeBron recorded a 26-point, 11-rebound, 13-assist triple-double to clinch the title. He was named Finals MVP, finally capturing the championship that had eluded him. 2013, the Miami Heat stormed through the season, finishing with 66 wins and just 16 losses, the best record in the league. They didn't just win, they overwhelmed teams. Offensively, they were ranked second in the league, and their defense, 9th overall. That gave them a net rating of plus 8.6. Their pace wasn't lightning fast, but they knew exactly when to strike. Everything clicked. LeBron James played 76 games and was a nightmare for opponents from start to finish. He averaged 26.8 points, 8 rebounds, and 7.3 assists. He threw in 1.7 steals and nearly a block per game, just to round things out. He also played nearly 38 minutes a night, like a machine, and his efficiency was wild. He shot 56.5% from the field and 40.6% from deep. That was on over 3 attempts per game. He even shot over 75% from the free throw line. He led Miami in scoring, rebounding, steals, free throw attempts, and effective field goal percentage. That's not a player, that's a full starting lineup. This was the season where the advanced metrics basically waved the white flag. His player efficiency rating, 31.6, number 1 in the league, and the best of his entire career. His true shooting percentage hit 64%, and he led the NBA in win shares with 19.3. Even his win shares per 48 minutes were insane, 0.322, also number 1. His usage rate hit 30.2%, the highest he had while in Miami. And he didn't just hog the ball, his assist percentage was 36.4% from the power forward spot. Defensively, he stacked up 4.7 win shares, proving he wasn't taking plays off on the other end. His box plus minus, a ridiculous plus 11.7, and his value over replacement player stat hit 9.9, which puts him in the company of all-time great single seasons. When awards season rolled around, it was a LeBron parade. He won his 2nd straight MVP and got nearly every first place vote. He was runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year and was named to both the All-NBA First Team and the All-Defensive First Team. Then came the playoffs. Miami went on a tear, swept Milwaukee, crushed Chicago in 5, got pushed to 7 games by Indiana, and then went the full 7 again against San Antonio in the finals, and they came out on top. In those 23 playoff games, LeBron averaged just under 26 points, over 8 rebounds, and nearly 7 assists. He added almost 2 steals per game and played a staggering 41.7 minutes each night. And in the finals, he was the only player on either team to average at least 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists across the series. That got him his 2nd Finals MVP. At 28 years old, he became the first player in NBA history to win back-to-back regular season MVPs and Finals MVPs in 2 separate seasons. He joined Wilt Chamberlain as the only players ever to have a season with a player efficiency rating over 31. Miami's 66 wins were the most in franchise history. His production per 48 minutes, win shares per 48, and box plus minus all rank among the top 5 of all time. This wasn't just dominance. It was efficiency, consistency, and historical impact, all packed into one season. 2014. This season started with high expectations and ended with a harsh reality check. Miami came in chasing a 3rd straight title, loaded with talent and experience. LeBron played 77 games and averaged over 37 minutes every night, shooting an absurd 56.7% from the field and 37.9% from deep. He put up 27.1 points per game, nearly 7 rebounds, and just over 6 assists. He also added almost 2 steals per game while barely registering a block. But honestly, his offensive load was enormous. The high point, that 61-point eruption against Charlotte, that game had everything. He wore the mask, hit his first 8 3-pointers, and shattered the franchise scoring record. It was one of those performances that just made everything else feel like warm-up drills. But it wasn't all fireworks. Injuries hit the team all season. D. Wade, Chris Bosh, and Ray Allen all missed time, and Miami had to run through 20 different starting lineups. LeBron was the only constant, playing every night and holding it all together. Advanced numbers were just as ridiculous. His player efficiency rating hit 29.3, usage was 31%, and his win shares totaled 15.9. 12.3 of those were offensive. His box plus minus was nearly 9, and his value over replacement landed at 8. It was one of his highest impact seasons in terms of total statistical dominance. He finished second in the MVP race behind Kevin Durant. And yeah, it was close. Just 2 total points separated them in the final tally. LeBron got fewer first place votes, and that made the difference. Still, he made the All-NBA first team again, got named to the All-Defensive second team, and started in the All-Star game for the 11th straight time. He was joined by Wade and Bosh for that one too, even with their missed games. Miami finished the regular season 54-28, first in their division and second in the East. The pace was slow, bottom 5 in the league, but their offense was top 5, and their defense finished solidly in the middle. They had a strong net rating and looked ready to roll into the playoffs. The postseason opened with a sweep of Charlotte. No issues there. Then they knocked off Brooklyn in 5 games, even though the Nets had swept them during the regular season. Indiana came next, again, and Miami beat them in 6. That made 4 straight finals appearances for Miami. But the finals? That was brutal. The Spurs dominated the series and won 4 games to 1. LeBron still played great, averaging over 28 points, nearly 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals per game. He shot 56% from the floor and over 41% from 3. He even led all players in playoff win shares with 4.3. Game 1 had the now infamous air conditioning failure, and LeBron cramped up badly. The Spurs went on a run and took the game. Game 2, he bounced back with 35 points and 10 boards to even it. But after that, the Spurs blew the doors off. They won the last 3 games by big margin, ending Miami's three-peat hopes and ending LeBron's time in South Beach. 2015, LeBron came back to Cleveland with one mission, and no one was pretending it'd be easy. The Cavs drafted Andrew Wiggins, but he didn't even unpack. He was flipped along with Anthony Bennett in a deal for Kevin Love. Just like that, the new Big Three was formed. LeBron, Love, and Kyrie were set to lead the charge, and they got a new head coach too, David Blatt, who'd never coached in the league before. The pressure was instant, and yeah, it showed. Cleveland looked scrambled early, going 19-20 through their first 39 games. That included a stretch where they dropped 10 of 12. The roster wasn't clicking, the system was shaky, and the media swarmed like it was open season on Blatt. But Cleveland didn't sit still. They brought in J.R. Smith and Shumpert for more perimeter toughness and some unpredictability. Then came Mozgov to patch the interior. Mid-January, LeBron took a 2-week break, came back, and flipped the switch. From January 12th forward, they went 34-9, closing the season 53-29. They won the Central Division and landed second in the East behind Atlanta. It wasn't smooth, but it was serious progress. LeBron's numbers were right where you'd expect. He played 76 games and dropped 25.3 a night. He added 6 boards, over 7 assists, and shot nearly 38% from deep. His true shooting was almost 59%, and his player efficiency rating sat at 27.5. He was third in MVP voting, made All-NBA first team, and led the team in points, rebounds, and assists. Yeah, all 3. Even with Kevin Love missing big chunks due to a shoulder issue and Kyrie not being a full go every night, LeBron kept the thing rolling. The playoffs opened with the sweep of Boston. Cleveland didn't mess around there. Then came Chicago in the second round, which actually got dicey. They lost 2 games, but LeBron hit the big one late in Game 4 to even it up, and they finished it off in 6. Atlanta came next, 60 wins during the season, top seed in the East, and Cleveland ran them over. Another sweep. Suddenly, it was Cleveland's first finals trip since 2007. Now the finals. Cleveland lost Kyrie in Game 1 to a fractured kneecap. Kevin Love was already out. That left LeBron carrying the load against a deep young Warriors squad, and he nearly did it. He averaged over 35 points, 13 rebounds, and nearly 9 assists per game. No one had ever led both teams in all 3 stats for an entire finals before. He did it with a rotation that had no margin for error. He put up 44 in Game 1, lost it in overtime, then a triple-double in Game 2. He got them tied at 1 and then stole Game 3 at home. Golden State responded with lineup changes, bringing Andre Iguodala into the starting group. And things shift. LeBron still dropped 40, 14, and 11 in Game 5, but they lost again. Game 6 sealed it. The Warriors closed it out in Cleveland, 105-97. No Kyrie, no Love, and somehow it still felt like they had a chance. LeBron didn't win a ring, but the season proved a point. He could bring a team back from scratch and go the distance. 2016. This one changed everything. LeBron came into the season on a 2-year deal worth nearly $48 million, and expectations couldn't have been heavier. Cleveland brought back most of the crew: J.R. Smith, Kevin Love, Delly, then added Channing Frye. On paper, it looked set, but the vibes weren't right. David Blatt was still head coach when the season started, but by late January, the Cavs fired him. He'd gone 28-11. Tyronn Lue stepped in, and even with the shift, they still went 57-25 overall, best in the East and third best in the league. LeBron played 76 games, all as a starter, averaging 35 minutes per night. He shot 52% from the field, 31% from 3, and 73 from the line. He finished with averages of 25.3 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 6.8 assists. Defensively, he added 1.4 steals and just over half a block. His advanced stats were off the charts again. Player efficiency rating at 27.5, true shooting close to 59%, and usage above 31. He was third in MVP, voting behind Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, and made the All-NBA first team again. Things escalated in the playoffs. First came Detroit. Cleveland swept them, and LeBron led the team in assists and steals across the 4 games. Then Atlanta got swept too, and this time, he led the team in points, assists, and steals. Toronto put up a better fight in the conference finals, but Cleveland closed it in 6. LeBron averaged 26 points, 8.5 rebounds, and nearly 7 assists in that series. Then came the finals against the 67-win Golden State team. The Cavs dropped the first 2 games by 15 and 33 points. Down 3-1, heading into Game 5, it looked finished. But LeBron responded with 41 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists. Then in Game 6, another 41-point effort, this time with 16 boards and 11 dimes. That tied the series. Game 7 became one of the most iconic games in league history. LeBron posted 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. But the signature moment, the chase down block. He ran down Andre Iguodala and pinned the layup off the glass in the closing minutes. Cleveland won 93-89. It was the first time a team had ever come back from a 3-1 deficit in the finals. It was also Cleveland's first title, first in any major sport since the Browns in 1964. LeBron's finals averages were wild, nearly 30 points, over 11 rebounds, almost 9 assists per game. He led both teams in all 3. His playoff performance earned him a unanimous Finals MVP, the 3rd of his career. His playoff advanced metrics? Ridiculous. In 21 games, he posted a player efficiency rating of 30, win shares of 11, and a box plus minus of 11. It was a complete takeover. Offense, defense, leadership, clutch moments, everything. This wasn't just a title run, it was a full-on historic performance. 2017, LeBron came into his 14th season with a brand new contract. 3 years, $100 million. That put him under team control through 2018, and at 32, he still led the league in minutes. He played 74 games, all as a starter, averaging 37.8 minutes, and posting one of his most efficient seasons to date. He put up 26.4 points, 8.6 rebounds, and 8.7 assists. His field goal percentage was nearly 55. Three-point shooting came in at just over 36, and he shot 67% from the line. He also became the only player in league history to average 25 points per game for 14 straight seasons. On the advanced side, his player efficiency rating hit 27, usage was 30%, and his true shooting percentage was over 61. He posted a win share total of 7.6 and a value over replacement of 6.7. His assist rate was a massive 41%. That made him the engine for the Cavs, who finished 51-31, good for second in the East behind Boston. The roster saw some shifts. They traded for Kyle Korver in January and added Chris Anderson in February. They also broke a league record with 25 made threes in a single game against Atlanta on March 4th. The team's offensive rating was 3rd in the league, though their defense struggled, finishing 21st. Still, the net rating ranked 7th overall. LeBron had plenty of moments. On November 3rd, he dropped 57 points on Washington, his second highest total ever, in a franchise record under coach Tyronn Lue. He earned his 11th All-NBA first-team nod and tied both Kobe Bryant and Karl Malone for the most first-team selections in league history. He also won his 3rd All-Star Game MVP after posting 29 points, 10 boards, and 8 assists. The playoffs started strong. Cleveland swept Indiana, then swept Toronto. In the Boston series, they took it in 5. LeBron passed Michael Jordan to become the NBA's all-time postseason scoring leader during that series. In Game 2, Cleveland had a 41-point halftime lead, the biggest in playoff history. LeBron capped it in Game 5 with 35 points and 11 rebounds as they returned to the finals for the 3rd straight year. The finals rematch with Golden State was brutal. Game 1 was the peak. LeBron scored 51 points, a playoff career high, but Cleveland lost in overtime. After that game, he fractured his hand by punching a whiteboard in frustration, which limited him the rest of the way. Even so, he still averaged 34 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 10 assists for the series, becoming the first player ever to average a triple-double in the finals. His playoff advanced metrics were wild. Player efficiency rating of 30.1, true shooting of nearly 65%, and a box plus minus of nearly 10. He posted 4.3 win shares and a value over replacement of 2.2 over 18 games. Despite everything, heavy minutes, a broken hand, and facing Kevin Durant's Warriors, LeBron put up one of the most complete playoff runs in history. 2018. This was the year LeBron played every single regular season game, 82 total, for the first time in his career. He led the entire league in minutes again at 36.9 per game. At age 33, with no Kyrie and a revolving door of shaky role players, LeBron somehow put up one of his most dominant statistical seasons ever. He averaged 27.5 points, 8.6 rebounds, and 9.1 assists. He shot 54% from the field, 36% from 3, and 73% from the line. He did all that while also leading Cleveland in almost every major category, including rebounds, assists, and usage. Cleveland went 50-32, won the Central Division, but only landed the 4th seed in the East. Their offense was 4th in the league, but the defense was a mess, ranking in the bottom 3rd. The team made some key moves during the year, like adding Kyle Korver and leaning harder on Kevin Love, but LeBron was the engine, the tires, and the steering wheel. The roster wasn't built to contend anymore, and everyone knew it. His advanced numbers were ridiculous. Player efficiency rating of 28.6, best in the league. His true shooting percentage was over 62. His assist rate was over 44%. Turnover rate around 16. He finished the season with 14 win shares and a value over replacement of 8.9. His box plus minus was nearly 10. He ranked 2nd in MVP voting behind James Harden and made his 12th All-NBA first team. Every one of those honors was deserved. The playoffs were where things went into overdrive. First came Indiana. That series went 7 games, and LeBron put up 45 points, 10 boards, and 7 assists in Game 7 alone. He also had 4 other 40-point games in that series. He led the team in everything: points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. Next came Toronto. Cleveland swept them, and LeBron averaged over 30 points and orchestrated the entire offense. Then came Boston in the conference finals. Another 7-game grind. LeBron finished Game 7 with 35 points and 11 rebounds, carrying Cleveland to their 4th straight final. And those finals? It was a bloodbath. Golden State swept them, but LeBron didn't go quietly. In Game 1, he dropped 51 points, grabbed 8 rebounds, and dished 8 assists. That game ended in overtime with a loss. And after it, LeBron punched a whiteboard and fractured his hand. He still averaged 34 points, over 9 rebounds, and 9 assists across the series. He became the first player in finals history to average a triple-double in back-to-back years. Over the full playoffs, he played in 22 games and racked up 748 points and 198 assists. He led the league in both. He also had 5.2 win shares and posted multiple 30-10-5 games, tying the record for most in one postseason. This was one of the most physically taxing seasons he's ever played, and he still managed to keep Cleveland relevant all the way through June. It was a season of sheer force and stamina. 2019. LeBron's first season with the Lakers came with big expectations, a massive 4-year contract, and a new challenge in the Western Conference. He signed for $154 million in July, moved to Los Angeles, and became the undisputed leader of a young roster that had no recent playoff success. The Lakers hadn't made the postseason in 6 years, and they were hoping he'd change that quickly, but it didn't exactly go to plan. LeBron played just 55 games, all starts, and it ended up being the lowest total of any season in his career. Before this year, he'd never played fewer than 69 games. His per-game numbers were still elite: 27.4 points, 8.5 rebounds, 8.3 assists, shooting 51% from the field, 34% from deep, and 66% from the line. He still finished 5th in scoring average that year, even though he missed over a quarter of the season. His advanced stats backed up the eye test: a player efficiency rating of 25.6, true shooting of nearly 59% and usage just over 31. He posted 6.4 win shares, had a box plus minus of +8, and a value over replacement of 4.9. He assisted on nearly 40% of the team's possessions when he was on the floor, and led the team in usage by a wide margin. Even at 34, he was still doing what only a handful of players in the league history have done. The turning point came on Christmas Day when he tore his left groin during a road game against the Clippers. It was his first serious injury ever. He missed 17 straight games, and the Lakers went 5-12 without him. When he came back at the end of January, the team was barely above 500 and still in the playoff hunt. He put up 24 points, 14 rebounds, and 9 assists in his first game back, but it wasn't enough to shift the momentum. As March hit, the team imposed a minutes restriction and then eventually shut him down for the rest of the season. He still had big performances: 51 points in Miami, 44 in Portland, 36 points, and a triple-double in Chicago. He became an All-Star for the 16th time and was named to the All-NBA third team. The first time in 12 years he wasn't first or second team. The Lakers finished 37-45, fourth in their division and 10th in the conference. They missed the playoffs again, and for the first time since 2005, LeBron didn't play a single postseason game. Magic Johnson resigned as team president the day after the season ended. Luke Walton parted ways days later. Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram both missed time. Kyle Kuzma stepped up as the second leading scorer, but the roster never quite clicked. Even with the team chaos, LeBron still managed a season that only a few players his age have ever produced. His minutes, production, and efficiency all held elite value. He missed the playoffs, but he didn't drop off. It just took 1 year to recalibrate. 2020. LeBron started his 17th season in a completely reshaped situation. He had a new head coach, Frank Vogel, a new superstar running mate in Anthony Davis, and a city with sky-high expectations. The Lakers had just missed the playoffs, but after the trade for Davis, everything flipped. Los Angeles jumped to a 52-19 record, finished first in the West, and had the second best offense and defense in the league. The season paused in March due to COVID, but before that, they'd already clinched a playoff spot and were running at a 60-win pace. LeBron played 67 games and started all of them. He averaged 25.3 points, 7.8 rebounds, and a league-leading 10.2 assists per game. He played 34.6 minutes per night, shot 49% from the field, 35 from deep, and nearly 70 from the free throw line. His assist rate was just under 50%. That's absurd. He was second in the league in value over replacement, posted 8.4 win share, and his box plus minus was a league best 8.4. His true shooting was nearly 58%. At 35 years old, he was still producing at all NBA levels. He finished second in MVP voting behind Giannis, but was unanimously selected to the All-NBA first team. He started the season hot, and by November, he was already dropping 30-point triple-double. That included a huge performance against Dallas, 39 points, 12 rebounds, and 16 assists in an overtime win. He helped lead the Lakers to a franchise-best 17-2 start. The team played balanced ball, but LeBron was always the initiator. When the league suspended operations in March, the Lakers adjusted and regrouped in the Orlando bubble. They played 8 seeding games, went 3-5, but were already locked into the top seed. Avery Bradley opted out, and J.R. Smith stepped in. That roster adjustment didn't slow LeBron down. In the playoffs, he ramped up again. First round, they beat Portland in 5, then Houston in 5, Denver in 5 again. And in the finals, they took down Miami in 6 games. LeBron was a constant. In Game 3 of the Portland series, he dropped 38 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists. In the finals clincher, he finished with 28 points and 10 assists. Across the full postseason, he averaged 27.6 points, 10.8 rebounds, and 8.8 assists in over 36 minutes per game. He shot 56% from the field and 37 from 3. He logged 762 total playoff minutes, posted a player efficiency rating of 30.2, and recorded 10.7 win shares. He led the entire postseason in total rebounds and assists, becoming the first player in league history to do both in the same playoff. He averaged nearly 30 points, almost 12 rebounds, and over 8 assists in the final, winning his 4th Finals MVP and becoming the only player to win it with 3 different franchises. At 35, he led a team to a title, anchored both ends of the court, and outlasted everyone in the bubble. 2021. LeBron entered his 18th season coming off a title, but the Lakers campaign started uneven and ended short. He played 45 games out of 72, all starts, averaging 33.4 minutes per game. That's the lowest of his career up to that point. A clear shift toward managing minutes. Still, his production stayed top tier, 25 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 7.8 assists per game. He shot just over 51% from the field, 36% from deep, and just under 70% from the line. Even with fewer games, he led the team in scoring, assists, and minutes. He recorded 9 games with double-digit assists and 25 double-doubles overall. He logged 4 triple-doubles, including a stretch where he got 3 in 4 games. His usage rate hovered near 29%. Defensively, he averaged over a steal per game and added just over half a block. The season opened with him sitting the first 12 games to manage the workload. Then came the injuries. By late March, he was battling leg swelling, which sidelined him again for a couple of weeks. That stretch, combined with earlier missed time, added up to 27 missed games. Even when he returned, he wasn't at full strength. In the first round against Phoenix, he missed 2 of the games and wasn't moving like himself. His advanced numbers still told the story. His player efficiency rating was over 24. His true shooting hit 58%. Assist rate was over 40%, and he posted solid win share and box plus-minus figures despite the reduced availability. He earned All-NBA second-team honors and landed in the top 15 in MVP voting, even with the interruptions. That marked his 17th career All-NBA selection, a record he just kept adding to. He had standout games. Against the Clippers on opening night, he posted 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 11 assists, including a clutch late 3. In February, he scored 37 against Giannis and added 11 rebounds. And on March 30th against Phoenix, he dropped 30 with 12 assists, hitting 11 of 12 early and finishing plus 29. The Lakers finished 42-30, good for 7th in the West. That put them in the play-in tournament, where they had to face Phoenix without home court. In that play-in loss, LeBron scored 18 points, shot just over 40%, and aggravated the same leg injury that had kept him out earlier. In the actual first-round series against the Suns, he played 6 games and averaged over 23 points, 8 rebounds, and over 8 assists. He shot nearly 49% from the field and over 52% on short-range attempts. But it wasn't enough. The Lakers lost in 6, and the title defense was over. Even at 36, he still scored over 1,000 points, added over 300 rebounds, and dished over 300 assists. He passed Rick Barry on the all-time scoring list and ended the season with over 37,000 career points. He adjusted his game more than ever. More mid-range, more floaters, more pick-and-roll control, and still kept the Lakers competitive, even if the season ended too soon. 2022. LeBron entered his 19th season with huge expectations swirling around the new-look Lakers. The team had brought in Russell Westbrook during the offseason, forming a new Big Three with Anthony Davis. Frank Vogel returned as head coach. Rob Pelinka managed the front office, and Jeannie Buss remained at the top. On paper, the Lakers were supposed to contend. In reality, they collapsed. The team finished 33-49, missed the playoffs entirely, and ended up 11th in the West, failing even to make the play-in. LeBron played 56 games and started all of them. He averaged 30.3 points, 8.2 rebounds, and 6.2 assists per game. He shot 52% from the field, 36 from 3, and 76 from the line. Those numbers weren't just good, they were historic. At 37 years old, he became just the 4th player in league history to average over 30 points at that age, joining Jordan, Malone, and Kareem. His advanced metrics stayed elite. Player efficiency rating was 26.2. His true shooting was just under 62%, and his usage rate climbed to over 32%. His win shares totaled 7.5. His box plus minus was 7.7, and his value over replacement hit 5.1. He ranked 10th in MVP voting and was named to the All-NBA third team. He also earned another All-Star nod, extending one of the longest runs of selections in NBA history. LeBron missed 26 games due to injuries, most notably a left ankle sprain late in the season that ruled him out for the final stretch. Even so, he led the Lakers in scoring, minutes, and usage. His assist rate was over 30%. His rebounding percentage was 11.8. His defense held steady with 1.3 steals and 1.1 blocks per game, and he played 37.2 minutes per night, the highest workload on the team. He posted huge scoring nights throughout the year. In March, he dropped 56 points against the Warriors, a season high and one of the most efficient scoring performances of his career. Less than a week later, he added another 50-point game against Charlotte. Back in November, he scored 39 against Indiana. These were not empty stats. He was winning games when the rest of the roster looked completely disjointed. The Lakers never found a rhythm. Injuries to Anthony Davis, who missed 41 games, and Westbrook's inconsistent fit left the team scrambling. They used over 40 starting lineups. The trio of LeBron, Davis, and Westbrook only played 21 games together and barely broke even in those. After being eliminated from postseason contention on April 5th, the Lakers fired Frank Vogel on April 11th. Despite everything, LeBron still finished with 1,695 total points, 11th most in the league. His efficiency stayed high, his advanced stats remained elite, and his impact never dipped, even in one of the Lakers' most disappointing seasons ever, 2023. LeBron was 38 years old and somehow still treating the NBA like it was his personal side project. Playing in his 20th season, the guy averaged nearly 29 points, over 8 rebounds, and almost 7 assists. That's not veteran efficiency, that's full-on production, like he's trying to convince people he just got drafted last week. He only played 55 games, but every one of those minutes, 1,954 to be exact, looked like he was dragging the Lakers through a Shakespearean play with too many plot twists. The team finished with 43 wins and 39 losses, landing 7th in the Western Conference. They had to scrap their way into the playoffs through the play-in tournament, which sounds more like a community theater audition than an NBA entry process, but they did it. And then somehow, they made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals. LeBron's usage rate was bananas, over 33%. He wasn't just touching the ball a lot, he was basically the offensive coordinator, substitute teacher, and janitor all rolled into one. He ran the pick and roll like it owed him money, usually working with Anthony Davis, and later in the season, Rui, Austin Reeves, and D'Angelo Russell. Yep, it was the midseason trade fiesta again. Now let's talk history. On February 7th, he became the NBA's all-time leading scorer. He passed Kareem with a fadeaway jumper. The game stopped. There was a ceremony. Kareem handed him the ball, and Adam Silver stood there like the proud dad in a movie who finally showed up. That moment alone would have made the season worth it for most people. But not LeBron. He also became the first person in NBA history to score 40 points against all 30 teams. That's every single team thinking they're special until LeBron shows up to torch them with a different jersey. He reached 38,000 career points in mid-January and wrapped the year with 1,590 points total, the most ever by a player in their 20th season. Kobe Bryant had over 1,000, but not even close to this. And yet, he made his 19th straight All-Star game, tying Kareem's record, because of course he did. On top of all that, he notched a triple-double against the Knicks in January, making him the first to do that in their 20th season. The guy's out here rewriting what year 20 even means. In the playoffs, they beat the second-seed Grizzlies in 6 games. LeBron averaged over 28 points, close to 10 boards, and about 7 assists across that series. It was a mix of veteran patience and flashbacks to his earlier years. Then they knocked out the Warriors in 6 against Golden State. His efficiency ticked up again, over 30 points per game, shot over 50% from the field, and better than 40% from deep. That is not a guy who's supposed to be aging. Then came Denver. The Lakers got swept. 4 games, 4 losses. LeBron still averaged nearly 26 points, but Denver was just too deep. Game margins were tight, but it still stung. It was the first time Denver ever eliminated the Lakers in a postseason series. Not exactly how LeBron wanted it to end, but considering the mileage on those legs, it was still absurd what he managed. And just to underline the absurdity, he became the first player in league history to average at least 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists, while shooting over 50% from the field and over 40% from 3 in his 20th season. Let that sink in while your back hurts from sitting too long. So the season ended with a sweep, but the legacy grew. They made it further than any 7th seed in the play-in era. Darvin Ham eventually got fired, and LeBron, who literally rewrote history mid-season, just kept moving. 2024, LeBron entered the year at 39 and decided it was time to switch back to jersey number 23. Classic move, almost like putting on an old hoodie that somehow still fits after 2 decades. The Lakers stayed under Darvin Ham and Rob Pelinka, running it back with a roster that blended age, youth, and whatever's left in Trevor Aritz's legs. They picked Jalen Hood-Schifino in the draft, grabbed Maxwell Lewis in a trade, and made some nostalgic veteran signings that probably caused an NBA historian to shed a tear. Now, if you're expecting another slow fade into basketball seniority, sorry, LeBron played 71 games, racked up 2,504 minutes, and averaged over 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists. Shooting, he hit 54% from the field and 41% from 3. That's not aging gracefully, that's aging like Benjamin Button on a Red Bull drip. They opened the season wobbly, starting 3-4. Then they suddenly looked competent, winning 12 out of 16 after the in-season tournament. And yeah, they won that too. Went undefeated in the inaugural NBA Cup and beat the Pacers in the final. LeBron snagged the MVP. Of course he did. like anyone else was going to touch it. Things got weird again in January. They slumped to 17 and 19 and slid down to the 9th seed. But then came February, and they went 23 and 10 the rest of the way. Talk about mood swings. They finished 47 and 35, good for 7th in the West. It wasn't pretty, but it worked. Stat-wise, LeBron cooked. Over 1,800 points, nearly 600 assists, over 500 boards. He kept the turnovers around 89, which, considering how much he touched the ball, is like a magician doing card tricks blindfolded. He played small ball power forward, stretching the floor and running the offense from everywhere like some sort of basketball octopus. Advanced stats? Still nuts. True shooting percentage at 63%. PER at 23.7. Usage rate just under 30. Assist percentage over 37. Defensive box plus minus at plus 6.5, which basically means he played defense like he wasn't 39 with 2 decades of NBA bruises. He put up a win shares per 48 of .164. That's still high-level output for any, let alone someone born during the Reagan administration. He extended his streak of seasons, averaging at least 25 points to 20 straight. That's the longest such streak ever. He also became the first 40-year-old to crack the top 20 in league scoring. And yes, he led the Lakers in assists again. Just another season of making grown men look like cones in practice. The play-in, he dropped a triple-double against the Pelicans. 28 points, 11 rebounds, 17 assists. Lakers got the win. Then came the Nuggets. Again, this time they lost in 5. 4 of those were games the Lakers led by double digits. Jamal Murray hit big shots, and Denver moved on. It was just the second time in LeBron's career he lost in the first round. Still, he made his 20th All-Star game, was named to the All-NBA third team, and finished 10th in MVP voting. Days later, Darvin Ham got fired, despite the cup win and 2 mostly healthy stars. The season had a weird balance. 1 trophy, 1 early exit. But LeBron, still not slowing down. 2025. LeBron James was 40 years old and somehow still moving like his calendar was broken. He played 70 games, started everyone, and logged over 2,400 minutes, more than any 40-year-old, since Karl Malone wore a jersey that looked like a peach smoothie. His coach, J.J. Redick, in his first year steering this not quite rebuilding, not quite contending ship to 50 wins and a 3rd seed in the West. And then came the big one. On March 5th, he hit a turnaround jumper and became the first player in NBA history to score 50,000 points. The building erupted, the fans lost it, and LeBron walked back on defense like he had just invented basketball. That night, he also posted 26 points, 12 assists, 6 boards, and 3 steals. Just another day in the office for the guy with more miles than a used Honda. Now to the numbers. He averaged 24.4 points, 8.2 assists, and 7.8 rebounds per game. Shot 51% from the field, 38% from deep, and nearly 78% at the line. His true shooting landed around 57%, and that's with him reducing mid-range pull-ups by nearly 30%. Instead, he leaned into more post-ups and catch-and-shoot threes. 44% of his threes came in transition spot-ups. Apparently, turning 40 just means more cardio. Advanced metrics stayed absurd. His usage dipped a little to 27.2%, but his assist percentage was still top tier at over 26%. Turnovers hovered near 11%, and he posted a box plus minus of plus 9.5 in the playoffs. Defensive box plus minus was high too. His impact on that end never dipped. He had a win shares per 48 of .164, better than most of the league's so-called rising stars. He also played more minutes per game than any other player in his 40s, which is about as normal as a flying giraffe. The Lakers rolled through the regular season with streaks, including an 11-4 start. There was a wild overtime win against the Mavericks in November and a shooting explosion during the mid-season tournament where he averaged nearly 35 per game. He ended up runner-up for tournament MVP and still got selected to his 20th All-Star game, tying the all-time record with Kareem, all while being 40. And no, he did not ride the bench with a heating pad and a knit hat. March was a fever dream. Finished the regular season playing the final 5 games without sitting. That's not Iron Man stuff. That's mythical creature nonsense. In the playoffs, the Lakers lost in 5 to the Timberwolves. Despite holding big leads in 4 of the 5 games, they got sent home early. LeBron still averaged 25.5 points, nearly 9 assists, almost 7 boards, and shot over 50% from the field and 43 from deep. His PER hit 25.5, but he couldn't carry them past Minnesota's tighter rotations. Still, he made All-NBA second team and finished 6th in MVP voting. No one's ever averaged 24, 8 and 7 at 40. No one's ever reached 50,000 points at that age, and no one has ever done what he's now done across 4 different decades. Not just the best at 40, he's the entire record book. If you enjoyed this, I'm going to be posting a lot here. I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.